This podcast is sponsored by Release Winery. Every wine tells a story. Each growing season, it's our goal to create an artisan Napa Valley wine of exceptional quality. Join us as the story of this ultra-limited wine continues. Learn more at releasewinery.com.
We don't like to call it a guest house. That makes it sound fancy. It's more like the family cabin.
Hangout?
Yeah, exactly. The Windsor house.
The Windsor house,
Yeah.
yes.
The Windsor from the very small town nearby. I live at Warnecke Ranch and Vineyards. This is my family property. It's 260 acres, and it's planted with an 80-acre vineyard. And it's been in the family since 1911, so I'm fifth generation on this land, sixth generation Sonoma County, and the vineyards went in the 70s when grapes became the best financial way to work your land. Well, my grandfather planted the vineyard in 73. Specifically, he wanted to have a property that was self-sustaining and sheep had come and gone, and so he planted grapes. There was maybe an inkling, but no, yeah. I mean, it's my family's business is grape growing, so that's Warnecke Ranch and Vineyards, and always just farmers, and that's how I started. I started working for my aunt and learned in the field, so primarily I identify with really the ag side, viticulture side. During the course of working for my family, I realized that I wanted to have a bit of independence, and that's why I started my own wine company, and also just looking way ahead in terms of succession planning to think about what's the value-add product to a vineyard is wine, and grapes are worth 10 or more times their value in the bottle than they are on a vine. So that is, like you said, no one knew where this was going, but wine is a great product. Yeah, it's really fun to make, really fun to communicate with people over wine. Yeah, we're at the very southern tip of Alexander Valley, so it's more rolling hills, the Mayakama foothills, and get really tight right here against the Russian River. So we're also, my family property is a mile frontage on the Russian River, so it's steep river corridor right into foothills, and on my family's land, the boundary line between Alexander Valley and Chalk Hill AVA. So south of us is more just a slightly cooler climate, Russian River Valley. But yeah, my family's vineyards is right at this intersection of those different interesting ecologies, ecosystems. I was born in San Francisco, so my family's been in San Francisco pre-Gold Rush, and so having been born there is very important. And early in my childhood, my parents split up, and so I was with my mom, and we moved to Boonville, and with my stepdad. And I have two brothers, so we had an idyllic life there, an apple orchard, and made organic apple juice, and had a horse stable. My mom was a trainer, so that was until I was like 10 years old, and then my family decided to be expats. We moved to France, so I spent the next 8 years in Haute-Savoie in the French Alps.
Nice.
Yeah, the closest, most interesting wine is the Beaujolais Nouveau release in the Lyon area. When I turned 18 to go to college, my family has many Stanford alum, and so I applied and got in and came back to California to go to Stanford. After I graduated, I really just wanted to be where I was from. I mean, I grew up in France, but no, I just wanted to be in California. Yeah. It's a really strong tie to have been here for so long and loved the land. And at least for me personally, both my brothers still live in Europe, but I really felt the calling. And it's the same reason why I came back to this family property as soon as I was done with my degree, to live here and get involved in the family business and make sure we could be family owned and operated. And I also didn't know I would make wine until I was here for a couple of years and witnessed the wine industry and grape growing, and it's amazing people, and being a grower, you get to meet the field workers and the truckers and like your pest control advisors and just a whole range of interesting folks. And then you add wine and you get to meet the people who make your labels and help you with deliveries and marketing. Sutro Wine Company is very small. It's 650 cases. So I run it in its entirety.
You are it.
Yeah, I am. I have a part-time employee. She's wonderful, and she just had a baby, so I'm back kind of on my own. My husband oversees the winemaking, but the wine is produced. We lease space at Medlock Ames Winery, so get to rely on them for kind of deep enology information, but Elliot really is the palate. He has a great palate. I call myself a wine producer because I like the more global view, and I know just enough to be able to talk to consumers and really have an idea about a direction of what I want the wine to taste like and how to get there. But I want to get a degree. I am actually on the wait list for Washington State Online Enology and Viticulture program. It's just there's a lot of direction you can take, and I want to have more awareness. But for the time being, we really like the style that we're on right now we make Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Sauvignon Blanc. And all of them, the focus is to have high acidity, mostly very mouth-watering, smooth, elegant tannins, and fruit forward and a light hand. I mean, the Sauvignon Blanc, we don't oak at all, but the Merlot barely any, and the Cab is just 20% new oak. So it's definitely more about terroir and what the land, I mean, the whole idea behind Sutro Wine Company is what's the potential of Warnecke Ranch and vineyard.